Halo 6 will suck. By that I mean, I can already guarantee Halo 6 will have its own set of flaws and imperfections. But what I think is safe to say is 343 Industries is in a better position than any Halo game in history. They even say so, which we'll talk about soon, and why this next Halo game may be the best Halo game, generally speaking, ever to date. And I'm gonna tell you how and why. Today, we will be discussing every notable aspect of Halo 6, including already confirmed news, implications from quotes on gaming journalism sites like GameSpot and IGN, the Xbox Scorpio and its own implications, the story's direction, overhaul or removal of features like the rec system and how that might happen, multiplayer changes, new platforms, split screen, DLC, and tons more. So let's get into it. Get in your onesies, get a warm cup of coffee or tea, and chill the hell out, cause today will be awesome. I was thinking about Halo 6 recently, and I knew I had to talk about it more on HaloFollower. Now, I haven't made as nearly many videos as I have wanted to, as I know you guys are looking forward to Halo 6 as much as I am, I think, but I knew there was a lot of undiscussed topics regarding the next big chapter in Halo. Besides, we're kind of in a spot where we're not really receiving any special Halo news of any kind. There's E3, but they said that there wasn't actually going to be anything big there. So today, I wanted to focus on tons of different important aspects and elements of Halo 6 that will hopefully make you feel hyped and excited and a little bit more informed by the time you're finished watching this about the future of this incredible series. Throughout this video, I will periodically ask questions, which I hope you guys think about, at the very least answer one or two of them down in the comment section. But if you have any ideas or anticipate any additional reasons why we should be particularly excited for Halo 6, then be sure to put hashtag Halo Club so I can put you in a podcast. I hope you guys enjoy with what I have put together today, so without further ado, let's go.
Where is she, Chief? Where's Cortana?
Why should you be excited for Halo 6? Why you may love Halo 6 and make it one of your top 3 Halo games of your favorite games, if not number 1? Well, if you're a 343 critic, you'll probably be skeptic as I say this. They don't know what they're doing, Chris. They've messed up so much already. And if you're a critic, you may be hesitant to be hyped. I don't know what they're gonna be doing. They've made these mistakes, they're probably gonna do it again. Or if you're a moderate fan and you've been giving 343 chances, and you may be interested in diving deeper into why this game may be a masterpiece. Or you may not fit in any of these descriptions, which is completely fine. Pretty much the point of this video is to give you a change of heart. And one of the very first reasons why we should be excited for this Halo 6 is that it is the first Halo game in a very long time to launch on PC. That's right.
That enemy is responsible for over 1 billion total casualties and the loss of
Halo 6 will be on PC, as all first-party Microsoft games after 2016's E3, where they announced games like Halo will be on Windows 10. Yes, PC, right? Exciting. Recently, Halo Wars Original released on Steam, which makes us question if they're thinking about bringing other Halo games, and even Halo 6, to Steam as well. Hopefully older ports, but Halo 6 is guaranteed to come on PC. There has been a major craving for Halo on PC, especially with the decade-long modding community, standalone free Halo mods like Project Contingency, Installation 01, mods for other games like Left 4 Dead and Battlefront, just to name a few. So it only makes sense that Microsoft swallows their closed-mindedness and open up and let us teabag some noobs on PC. Do you guys think Halo being available on PC is the right thing for the series or the wrong thing for the series? Be sure to let me know down in the comments. Along with the fact of Halo 6 making a long-awaited return to PC, split screen will also be making a return. Split screen was a major lacking element in Halo 5, considering almost every Halo game beforehand had participated in this gaming tradition. 343 received an enormous amount of criticism for taking this risk, more than 343 had expected. When the company announced no split screen, they said that they were sacrificing this beloved tradition for 1080p and 60 frames per second, mainly the latter, which made us question what's really important in games, graphics or gameplay. Here's a question: is sacrificing any element, no matter how big or small, of gameplay worth any advantage in graphics? Nonetheless, it was too late, split screen didn't stick, and there's no way of adding it in with an update. 343 learned gravely and was eager to announce shortly after Halo 5 that yes, Halo 6 will have split screen. It's likely, however, it won't come without some flaws, such as lower graphics and limitations when being used in the game. I could be wrong though. What do you guys think? The last technical element I really want to bring some attention to is Xbox Scorpio. Xbox Scorpio is another big reason why you should seriously be hyped for the next generation of Halo games, especially Halo 6, since it may be the first game on Xbox Scorpio. You see, this is the Xbox One revisited and beefed up beyond any console seen to date. Basically, a powerhouse gaming machine with 4.6 times the power of the Xbox One. If Halo 6 has a port, which is incredibly likely Microsoft will use their flagship franchise on their flagship hardware, then we can expect Halo 6 to play at a whopping 4K, 60 FPS, and bigger and better looking maps and experiences, and perhaps even compatibility to play massive 32 versus 32 battles, network compatibility with large amount of players basically. It'd be like playing Blur Cinematics but Battlefield but Halo style. Okay, maybe not quite, but still shockingly visually better than anything we've seen on Halo, like ever. Halo 6 will likely be the most visually impressive game. Of course, each Halo game improves a lot. I think the jump from Halo 4 to Halo 5 will be a lot less than the jump of Halo 5 to Halo 6. On a technical level, this may be the most advanced technology, the most potential for shocking new aspirations and visions that can come to life not possible or seen or even thought of before. And this is why you should be hyped. Technology is improving faster and faster through the years and now even the months. And with the Xbox Scorpio coming, this brings massive potential to all games, not just Halo. So, are you guys buying the Xbox Scorpio? Let me know down in the comments. Beyond that, Halo 6 is undergoing serious, real planning. Microsoft says, "We kind of know what's going to happen to the Master Chief ultimately," then stated, "We're doing serious, real planning and even some writing on the next game already, Halo 6, and that's a luxury. We've never been in that position before," end quote. This is why you should be excited right here, guys, because in my opinion, Halo 5's story doesn't actually feel rushed, but it feels very clunky and very unpolished, as if there wasn't enough time to reconsider their decisions or organize. Halo 5 didn't lack vision. It excelled in bringing incredible challenges and vision to the galaxy and conflict with some very interesting twists, but it lacked a lot of organization, a lot of tweaking, cutting, and polishing, which is usually the done in the latter in the story making process, which they may have not had enough time to do. 343, unlike before, has extra time to take care of the vision, a luxury that they just said they've never had before with Halo. In addition to this, the quotes state they know what will happen to Master Chief ultimately. While it's hard to see Chief dying anytime soon, perhaps Halo 6 will be a major milestone in Master Chief's legacy. Either way, Halo 6 is in a position that the stories have never had, in a position that the stories were never developed in, as Microsoft implied, extra time to rewrite and retell the story before it releases, since after all, that's what real planning and even more writing means. Even Bungie in the original trilogy had time limitations. Halo 2 had to cut off its story due to time restraints put by Microsoft. All this subtle evidence could suggest that Halo 6, even though it's subjective material, could be overall the most human involved and artistically engineered, revised, and thought out story in Halo history. With this extra time, the likelihood of the story bringing quality not seen before in a Halo story, with the care that hasn't been seen before, has just gone up a lot.
Yet now you hunt another Spartan, the greatest of your clan.
Let him hunt. He'll never find us. It's Cortana.
If the people on Halo 6 puts their backbone into it, their tears and their full heart and passion, along with the extra time that they have been given with Halo 5's release, then they are in a perfect position to make Halo 6's story incredible. Do you guys think Halo 6's story has a chance now? Because I sure do. Halo 6 isn't a part of a trilogy, but rather a saga. I've suggested many times, while it isn't a saga, it is still very likely that there will be a major conclusion that Chief and Cortana's relationship, basically wrapping up Halo 4, 5, and 6, will wrap up as if it was a trilogy. A vital element of this video we can't miss is Halo 6's marketing campaign. Ironically, one of the most liked elements of Halo 5 became one of the biggest disasters in the franchise's history. Let me explain. If you guys remember, Halo 5 Hunt the Truth. It was a story of Benjamin Grahad following Master Chief's story, and it was a letdown. Not because it was bad, but because in my opinion and many others, it was actually an incredible roller coaster of characters, spooky music, and interesting story plots, but it was bad because it was misleading in Halo 5 Guardians. With hindsight, looking back, Hunt the Truth is almost completely irrelevant and uninteresting in the perspective of trying to understand more about Halo 5 because of its lack of relationship with the Halo 5 campaign experiences that we ended up getting. 343 did well on not telling us much about the story that we ended up getting in Halo 5, but they did it in a way with Hunt the Truth where they got us thinking we were. Almost none of the Hunt the Truth was relevant to the actual story, if any. They did a lot of implications that never really came to fruition. In Halo 6's marketing, it needs to convey the story's theme, the story's plot, the characters, and the conflict. It needs to provide an extra perspective to the story instead of distracting away from it, and I think that's fair to say. So when we watch a Halo 6 trailer, for example, or follow a viral marketing campaign, we learn more about the background of the main characters, like Master Chief or Cortana or any of the other people. More on the lore, and we learn more of the history on the story elements, the people, the locations, and so on, so that when we actually play the game, we are not spoiled, but we are equipped with a better understanding of the whys, the whats, and the hows of what we are now experiencing. What I'm talking about is basically Halo Wars 2's marketing campaign, which was underwhelming to say the least. I would have enjoyed more content. It didn't overhype us or anything, but it didn't overanalyze itself. In fact, it kept the marketing vague while still adding information to its characters, stories, locations, and so on. What would you guys want to see in Halo 6's marketing campaign? I really want to hear a good debate about this. One thing that I have noticed is a big pattern with 343. 343 does very well from picking up from their mistakes.
It took you long enough.
343 learns from their mistakes exceedingly well. So whatever they mess up on in one Halo game, they seem to do the best in the next, which could suggest whatever received the most criticized elements of any 343 Halo game will later then be the very polished elements of the future Halo game. Most notably, Halo 4 had a poor outsourced Forge mode, and since it was such a flop, 343 responded with making Forge have the biggest comeback in the entire game's history. Halo 4's campaign wasn't disliked nearly as Halo 5, so 343 didn't get the memo before they messed up Halo 5's campaign, I guess. It's also confirmed that Master Chief will be the focus of the Halo 6 story, and that they will not be introducing any new playable characters, which was a big disliked element of Halo 5's story, about how most of it was focused on Agent Locke, a character that many fans did not feel like was relatable, or a character that they cared very much about. But Agent Locke nonetheless had 12 out of 15 missions following Locke. It was quite the surprise and it was quite the overload. It was not something that we wanted to see, and now 343 is responding with making Halo 6 focused on Master Chief. In fact, now very likely that Master Chief will be playable in every single mission, with him being present in most cutscenes, unlike Halo 5's.
She's gone, sir.
With all that I've said so far, I think that's enough to get a little hyped about Halo 6, but on a story level, on a plot level, Halo 5 left us with a major cliffhanger without any conclusions and answers and a lot of questions, with, for example, Chief and Locke potentially teaming up.
Hide and seek's over, Infinity.
A galaxy full of Forerunner tech at the control of rogue AI, with immortality and humanity brought to its knees, along with potentially every other intelligent advanced species, with colonies being shut down from all over the galaxy. The Covenant had a journey back in Halo 1, 2, and 3, and so on, to activate the Halo rings, unwittingly destroying themselves and all life.
Hello, I am 343 Guilty Spark. I am the monitor of Installation 04.
Ask the Oracle about Halo. How they would sacrifice us all for nothing.
More questions? Splendid. I would be happy to assist you.
But now Cortana, who believes it is the right thing to do, has control of the Halo rings, with likely a plan to annihilate all life to bring peace to the galaxy. At least that's how she sees it. Think about it. Cortana, in her accessibility and also reasoning to fire the Halo rings, is a lot better reason than and a lot better accessibility than the Covenant ever had, making her a much larger threat to actually destroying all life than the Covenant ever did. We already know Cortana and Master Chief, yet now these two characters are torn apart. We feel for both these characters, and the history between these two beloved beings are now expected to clash in the next big title. That's what we've been given, alright? That is something to be hyped for.
What are you?
I just needed to know if I could still trust you.
And all that I just listed doesn't include any theories such as the Flood returning, or the Prophet's revenge, or the Foreigners helping Chief, and so on. This is what we've been given. This is truly, in so many different ways, guys, is the climax of the Halo series in its entirety. In a lot of ways, we have been building up to Halo 6 since Halo combat evolved. White and black, good and bad, are becoming neither. They're becoming gray.
I love being an ODST. Just point and shoot, none of this gray area BS.
In so many different ways, the galaxy has entered turmoil it hasn't seen ever before, at least anyone alive. We've seen the fall of the Covenant, the fall of the Flood, the fall of the external enemies, but now we see the collapse of something much more intimate to us as fans, and also the characters involved in the story.
That's what I thought he said. The Prophet of Regret is planning to activate Halo.
Are you sure?
Something in so many different ways is meaningful to the community is about to happen. The collapse, the true collapse, of a relationship between our two beloved characters, John and his ex-AI Cortana. This next big title could contrast Halo 3, but execute the emotional tones, pull on our heartstrings, and add to Halo 4's ending. In fact, in my opinion, I think they need to close that book and actually kill Cortana off. But how and why? How will it happen? Or will she live? So many different questions, and maybe they could kill off Palmer too, but this really brings us to an epic conclusion in Halo 6 to the events of not only Halo 1, but Halo 2, Halo 3. All the Halos together have set this up, have gone to this point, even Halo Wars 2. Halo 6 has the potential to be one of the most cinematic but emotional sci-fi human stories to date.
No, Isabel. We won't be running anywhere today.
Sir, yes, sir.
I think it's safe to say that the most universally disliked things about Halo 5 will probably be tackled and executed in Halo 6 completely differently, in some cases way differently than we think they'll be tackled. After all, learning from others' mistakes is easy, but learning from your own mistakes will be much more impactful. 343, at heart, is a very new studio if you think about it. A lot of these people are learning to work with each other, and they're growing as friends and as a team. Some examples of what may have a major change is the plot. So the story was fumbled big time. Most characters were paper thin, had no depth or real importance to the overall story. Events felt jumbled and random. The story was generally uninteresting, probably beyond confusing to new players, and certain moments felt like they were just there for fandom, which is welcome, but it felt like that the whole event itself was forced fan service without much consideration on how it would create conflicts in the overall story and how that would get in the way of creating a compelling story. So yes, the story has received tons of criticism, enough for 343 to rethink their strategies for compelling sci-fi stories for the franchise. In addition, will have more time to rethink and rewrite the story. Some game developers go as far as adding DLC stories in. We saw that with Halo 4 with Spartanons. Fans didn't like that so much, but the DLC we received with Halo 5 was beyond fantastic, and beyond what we expected. They did take a risk, however. Instead of charging players for the DLC, they used it as a way to feed players and to excite them along the way through its lifeline. Though I doubt this was on purpose, it proved incredibly helpful and has given Halo some life it desperately needed. I think if Halo 6 is to have DLC, it would prove more useful and helpful to them in the long run for 343 to make the DLC free than to charge players for it. But either way, the DLC must be meaningful to us. I think this is something 343 Industries has finally understand. Now, especially with its classic throwback DLCs in Halo 5 plus Halo Wars 2, notable the Sergeant Johnson or the free Sergeant Forge DLC in Halo Wars 2, it really does prove to us, the players and the fans of the series, that 343 understands that DLC must be good. Since there was so much positive fan feedback and participation in the DLC live streams and so much reactivity, positive reactivity to Halo 5 DLC, it is overwhelmingly likely that we're gonna see something similar again. What kind of DLC do you guys want to see most? I want to hear it down in the comments. Most game developers nowadays launch an incomplete game, forced by the hand of the greedy publishers that don't understand the market or their consumers because they're stuck in a white-collar bubble. They don't understand the value of creating a product with proper care and time. All they see is numbers, so it's become all but a tradition in gaming culture to just accept these games with mediocre risk and depth attached to them, mainly because we have no choice, and unfortunately overall, they are becoming increasingly unsatisfying, so much in fact that indie games have taken over the gaming market. Yes, that includes the point-click hentai flash games on Steam, which I only know about for research. As the gaming industry meets its doom, the indie developers born a new generation of games. Ironic in many layers, yes, but Halo is not in the indie developer boom and is still affected by the old minds, the old ways of doing things, and ultimately some traditions that kill franchises like Halo. Microsoft, though not confirmed, but likely forced their hand on 343, because they are the ones that own 343 after all, releasing Halo the Master Chief Collection before issues were properly handled and fixed. What happened? The community in the collection took a major hit. In some ways, the same thing happened with Halo 5, but very much less so, but still nonetheless happened. Halo 5 had just a few elements missing and didn't quite feel complete, nor polished, missing elements such as multiplayer polishing, Forge mode elements, some features and DLC, things like that. In Halo 6, players, I think, would like to take this all in consideration, would like to see a game with depth, with real risk, and with real heart put into it. A game that is complete, that runs like it's meant to on day one. The day that we buy the game is the day that the game should work. complete playlists at launch, and possess the content it was intended to have on the launch day, and feels like it could have been playable long before release. That is something I think we can expect with Halo 6, and by the way, I don't think it's too much to ask for everything I just said. Some of you may recognize the name of Tom French. If you don't, that's completely fine. In late April, Tom French became multiplayer director at 343 Industries, overseeing multiplayer, competitive modes, and Forge. Now, this is super awesome because Tom French is appreciated by fans for his ability to make an epic fucking Forge mode, as he was the head of Halo 5 Guardian's revolutionary Forge mode and helped develop it. Forge had a lot of changes, but it stayed true to its initial formulas, only building on top of them instead of violating and changing them. Many believe that Tom French may actually be the return, because he might actually bring back the classic but evolved gameplay that we all crave as fans, the perfect of evolution and the perfect of still keeping it classic, and he may be the man to do it. Do you think Tom French has what it takes to make a great multiplayer experience? While we're talking about multiplayer, let's talk about the betas. A Halo 6 beta will likely be dropping 8 or 12 months before release, perhaps sometime in 2018. An understandable theory, considering most other games and previous Halo betas have that range or so. 343 Industries admitted a beta takes up precious time that could be used on the game itself, but only after Halo 4's criticism, 343 decided that it was worth the time. You see, before they thought it wasn't, but of course it is. On January 18th, 2015, 343 dropped the Halo 5 beta for the public with a handful of maps, new roster of abilities, and tools to let players know how the multiplayer would work. You may actually remember playing the beta. Mostly, this beta caught bugs before the final release, but mostly improved the pacing, sprint, skill ranking, and matchmaking, and overall was a very necessary element in the development of Halo 5. Many see betas as extra things to advertise to players, and why it does do that, it actually is, in my opinion, and I think many others, a very essential part of the actual development of the game, because it shows how the game will run when exposed to the masses. But with all that being said, it is a cherry on top, and it is a great way to advertise the game to newcomers to the game and the franchise. Now, since 343 understands the values of betas after Halo 4 and its multiplayer launching a little bit bad, it's overwhelmingly likely that we will see a beta drop within the next 2 years. I also believe that the rec system will be revisited and completely removed, if not completely altered from its initial state. That was basically 343's way of attempting at changing the multiplayer backset. Although it didn't end in complete failure, it definitely was not well received by about half of the community. The rec system rewarded players with armor, icons, cosmetics, weapons, vehicles, general in-game items, and 343 did great by offering a lot to this system with all the armor and assets that we could use. But the system had a random loot function, which is its most coolest and also the worst thing about this tradition that can usually be seen in free-to-play games, not games like Halo. But nonetheless, this introduced a lot of issues that are both unnecessary and damaging to players like myself who want a more classic and controlled experience. So one of the biggest issues being here is that you can't get what you want. There was tons of new items, and I mean a lot, which is again what 343 did very well, but there was too much inconvenience involved with the process and random to become meaningful for players who wanted to take the rec system in multiplayer seriously. To add to all this, the rec system was probably an idea crafted by publishers to make more profit, as it is kind of taking from that free-to-play foundation, which is geared to sell more microtransaction sales, which of course has undoubtedly worked with Halo, with at least $2.5 million worth of rec packs being sold digitally. The rec system is a feature that is a quick, and I mean this with great weight behind my words, a quick slippery slope to those malicious based money making functions in games that we see in modern games that we hate so and resent so much because it ruins games like Halo. The rec system is a slippery slope to its destruction of the franchise. In fact, we were proven right when the Month of Mythic was introduced. It tried to sneak its way in when they quickly removed the feature when I and many others made a lot of noise saying that this was a slippery slope, and indeed it was. Of course, they learned the lesson that the Halo community is not prepared, nor do we ever want to see such micro DLC in the game, and it's likely 343 will never do this again, at least to this extent. People who want to and have money for it could just throw down $50 and they'd instantly have 5 dozens of these rocket launchers. Means a big problem for how the game is going to work if the rec system is going to continue to rewarding players for continuing on playing instead of just dropping some cash. Basically, if you don't remember, the Month of Mythic was a rec edition, if you will. It was called Month of Mythic, and it was buy a pack of Prophet Banes, of rocket launchers for $10. It was very, very scummy. Multiplayer overall just isn't ready for that kind of commitment, nor additions to the free-to-play model unless the game actually becomes free-to-play, which I think should be saved for another video. But moving on, multiplayer overall in Halo 5 wasn't as criticized as many other Halos, at least I believe, but there were still a lot of complaints. But as with every Halo, it will be a different multiplayer experience altogether, just as each Halo is changing and evolving and always differs from the last. But with all that being said, as a way to recap all of this, I'm just going to simply say this. The rec system will be revisited and we will see something new. I think that is very likely. Keeping everything I've said in mind, if you can, it's quite a lot, it's safe to say that competitive Halo is making a big return, and that we should be hyped for it, especially if you like the competitive or are in the competitive scene. The Halo Championship and its relationship with ESL has made its round in the community, though it has had its moments. Some professional players were a bit unimpressed in 2017's championships, with the main stage looking like a 10-year-old's birthday party at an organic food market. It's just missing the clowns. I mean, Jesus Christ, look, even the balloons look depressed. Jokes aside, this 2017 event, ironically, despite its appearance, was one of the most successful to date, with 135 concurrent viewers across Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, and Beam. In addition, they had 13 million bypassing streaming viewers, which means people that popped in and checked it out for a little bit, but didn't watch the whole thing. Basically, this was a huge fucking success. If Halo 6's multiplayer is competitive friendly, there may be some historic success in its esports set for the future. This would in turn attract more sponsors, more Halo YouTubers, more competitive players, and overall more activity, and that means a lot of great other things too. Halo Championship prize pools are averaging in millions in the past couple of years, which would also interest old Halo players returning to get some cash. Yeah, simple as that. So what do you guys think? Be sure to let me know what you think about this whole video, especially what do you think about competitive Halo making a return. So what did you guys think of this video? Are you any more or less excited for Halo 6 than when you first started watching this? Hopefully I got a couple of you guys excited for the next big Halo installment. And I do honestly believe that while Halo 6 may not be the best Halo game that we've ever seen, although that is an opinion after all, I do believe that it has the most potential to be. The most potential to be one of the best Halo games we've ever seen. Much more potential than Halo 4 or Halo 5 had. They have learned a lot of lessons. They've made a lot of huge mistakes. They have a lot more time than they did before, and they have a lot more ability and just potential than ever before. And of course, guys, if you enjoyed this video, then be sure to drop it a like. It only takes a second. And also be sure to share this video to your friends. That also only takes a few moments, so please do that. We are making a slow crawl to 500,000. And of course, be sure to subscribe here on HaloFollower if you haven't already for a lot more videos where we cover Halo news. We'll be covering E3. We've covered E3 for 6 years now, or rather I have. So I've been doing this for about 6 years now, so hopefully you guys enjoy the content that I produce still, and I know that You know, sometimes videos aren't as good as other videos, and hopefully I can make it up for ones like this. And let me just take this time as a big thank you. Thank you guys for supporting the channel. Thank you for supporting the other follower channels, Tucker on Mass Effect Follower, and Jake up here on HaloFollower, myself, and Sean over on PlayStation Follower. We all recognize it, everybody on the team, so thank you. There's more people on the team, by the way, so we all recognize it, so thank you so much for your help, your support. We couldn't have done this without you. So thank you guys, and I'll see you in the next one. My deepest gratitude goes out to subscribers and to our viewers. That makes everything we do awesome and fun. So see you guys in the next one. Peace.